I want to talk to y'all about the importance of being equally yoked with God. So, just about 45 minutes ago, I'm getting off of work, and every day I get off work, I put my home address in the GPS. Not because I don't know it, but because I just want to see if there's any traffic or how long is it going to take me to get home? What's the best route to get home? So I check my GPS and I see that the fastest way to get home is the normal way that I take on the highway. But I don't always follow this way because to get to the highway, it takes me to some back roads that I'm really not familiar with. And, I just like to go the way that I know. So I usually always go the way that I know to get to the highway. But this time I was like, you know what? Let me follow what the GPS is saying. And I instantly got hit with the revelation, and God just started speaking to me in all kinds of ways. So the first thing God told me was, you always ask me for a way, and I give you the way, but you still end up going your way anyway. And I'm like, okay, God, you ain't had to check me like that. But I started thinking on it, and I'm like, okay, that's true. So I continue to drive. I'm praying. I'm just talking to God. Well, I'm not even talking. I'm more so listening and hearing what else he has to say to me. So as I'm driving, I'm just looking and I'm like, I don't know where I'm at right now. I don't know where I'm going. Like, I've never seen these streets before. I've never heard of these streets before. And God just kept saying, trust me, just be patient, be calm. So I pull up to a red light and I start looking around like, where am I at right now? And I look up and I see all these stores that I'm familiar with. I see all of these things that I know. I've seen this before. I'm like, oh, I know where I'm at. Little did I know the GPS was taking me to the same place that I usually go, just going a different route. Mind you, on the GPS, it said that this route was 5 minutes faster than the route that I usually go. And this is when God said, if you follow me and take my path, I will get you to the same place that you're trying to go even faster. And right there just blew my mind because I'm like, whole time I'm avoiding this route. Whole time I'm thinking it's going to take me a whole completely different way. I'm thinking it's going to take a little bit longer. But little did I know it was taking me to the same exact area that I'm familiar with. It just had to take me to a place of unfamiliarity and uncomfortability for me to get to a place of comfort. And God wants to do the same for all of us. He wants to get us to a place where we're comfortable, where we're familiar with. But first, we have to go through the uncomfortable times. We have to go through places where we're unfamiliar. But it's too many times where God gives us a plan, a clear path to follow, and we still go off on our own path. We still do our own thing. We still go our own way. And when we go our own way, things start to happen that weren't planned to happen, that wasn't supposed to happen. Things start going wrong, things start falling apart. And we begin to blame God for these things happening. But whole time, God is saying, if you would have followed my plan, you wouldn't have ran into traffic. If you would have followed my plan, that thing wouldn't have happened. I didn't have that in my plans for you. But because you were so stubborn and you thought that you knew what was best, you thought that your way was the better way, now you're facing all of these tribulations. Now you're facing all of these things that you didn't have to face if you were with me. And the last thing God told me was, what's the point of having a GPS if you're still going to follow your own directions anyway? What's the point of telling God your plans? What's the point of writing your vision? What's the point of telling God anything that you have planned going on and telling God that you trust him, you surrender your things to him if you're still going to follow your own path, if you're still going to follow your own plan? Psalms 23:4, even though I go through the darkest valleys, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. God will be with you in the places that you are not comfortable with. He will be with you in the places that you are unfamiliar with. He will be with you in the places where you're scared, where you're afraid, where you feel like you don't know. But it requires your trust and it requires you to follow his plan. God said it's going to take 5 years, but you want it in 2. And because you want it in 2, you start going to do things on your own. You start going to do things that's out of alignment with God. You start doing things that's out of order. You start doing things that God didn't tell you to do. You're trying to speed up the process. And in doing all of that, now, instead of the 5 years that God said it was going to take, it's now going to take 10 years. And now you start blaming God. You're like, God, you told me it was going to take 5 years. And he's like, yeah, but you wanted it in 2. So now you're going to wait 10. And that's the thing about God. He gives you the free will. He's going to allow you to do what you want to do. He's not going to force you, because that's not love. Forcing somebody to do something is not love. He's going to allow you to have the free will. He's going to allow you to make your own decisions, to make your own mistakes, and do what you want to do. But it's until you become equally yoked with him. It's until you are in alignment with his will, his plan, his vision, his path that he has for you, that you will get to your destination on time. So stop delaying your blessings because of your ignorance. And stop thinking that you know a better and faster way than God, because there is no better or faster way. So enjoy the process and enjoy the journey, because God is going to get you where you want to be. It's time.